What's up, Blaze 5? Yes, Switch reveal this week. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've seen anything official come out, but it's been leaked like hardcore. So it's supposed to be the 16th, which is Thursday. We'll see. Um, I'll be honest. I don't think the Switch 2. I don't think that's going to be the actual. Here, let me do this. Did I switch over? I did. Okay. I don't think the Switch 2 is going to be that revealing, right? We all knew they weren't going to do anything super crazy, right? We knew they were going to do cartridges and be backwards compatible. It's been way too popular for them not to do another handheld. It'd be real easy for them to actually make a custom chip, which they didn't do last time, since it panned out, and get a lot out of it, right? And they're working with NVIDIA so they can do the upscaling thing, which will work if they want to do low resolution in general, and then they can just upscale to get the higher resolution when they're in docked mode on top of power. The biggest thing that I saw was they're going to do magnetic instead of slide-ons. Figure that stuff with warranties and various other things. Bigger buttons from the 3D printed thing. Better Joy-Cons. That's to get rid of Joy-Con drift so they don't have any more lawsuits. And bigger screen, which we knew it's going to be an LCD and not an OLED, which is unfortunate. But, of course, they want to sell an upgrade, right? Keep costs down. Supposedly, it's going to have a built-in microphone, which will allow voice chat without using a mobile app, and it'll be more like all the other systems. The biggest thing that we don't know is we think there's an optical sensor on one of the Joy-Cons that you could use as a mouse if you flip it sideways because it's nice and flat. And so you think, okay, shooters, Metroid Prime, or even, let's say, Overwatch, right? I could sit there with a Joy-Con and move, and then I could use my Joy-Con like a mouse. Oh, dude, they're going to pwn people. It's going to be crazy. Plus, it'll allow games like RTSs and things like that to be on there. Yeah. Biggest thing is going to be software. What are they doing software? We haven't heard about a Mario game in a long, long while. So they're going to have a Mario. They're going to have a Mario Kart, clearly. Metroid Prime, don't be surprised if they end up releasing on the Switch and on the Switch 2 and they do an up-res version. I mean, come on, right? And then, of course, God knows what other games they could do. They haven't done a Fire Emblem in forever. They could load this sucker up. Yeah, the sensor. Yeah, it's a cool idea. Honestly, it's not that hard. It wouldn't be very costly. And I think it opens up them to be able to do additional things like, hey, what if they bring back Mario Paint, right? They haven't done that in forever. So I just want to play Mario Sunshine. Well, it's a big question is, do they re-release it or do they actually decide to do a remake, right? You know, they haven't done Galaxy 1 and 2. They haven't done those. Maybe they were waiting for the additional power of the Switch 2 with maybe their Plus series, or they're going to sell a GameCube add-on for online, Switch Online. That's my feeling of what's going to end up happening. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm already starting to round up cash I've been saving for it because I have a feeling it's going to be in demand because everyone's going to want a better Switch upgrade. It's going to be backwards compatible. There's a high possibility, like, play your old games and it doesn't chug, and it's going to be great. I don't know if they're going to go as far as Xbox and have something built in where you can get better textures or just runs better or whatnot, or if it'll automatically work. Like, I'm not entirely sure. Depends on how they coded things. So we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of games that if it doesn't help chug, a lot of old Switch games would be a lot of fun to play again, and you wouldn't have problems with that. Also, there's some recent Monster Hunter games that, from my understanding, it really needs the power. We'll see. I do know there's rumors that there's going to be, like, Elden Ring on Switch 2. That there's going to be a whole bunch of ports of, like, current-gen things. Do not be surprised if Final Fantasy Remake and eventually Rebirth ends up on the Switch 2. I'm just saying. There's no reason why they wouldn't do that. Square is done doing exclusives, and I think they see the Switch as, hey, here's how we can make our money back. And it wouldn't be very hard for them to do. Yeah, I'm excited. I never owned a Nintendo console. Really? Well, here's the thing. The beauty of it is, if you get the cartridge, you own the game. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You don't usually have a lot of like updates you need to do, and if they are, they're typically tiny. They're usually fairly polished. I mean, the Switch in and of itself, for some of the stuff, was kind of, if you like online stuff, was kind of slow in them adopting things. And the shop can be a little problematic, but then again, you could say the same thing about Steam. But, it's not that Nintendo consoles in general are bad. I enjoy the GameCube. We got Resident Evil 4 first and better than all the other systems when it came out on PlayStation 2 and things like that. Oh, you like that? Oh, yeah. They do other things. Let's see here. Hold on. I just have it on some things here. Let's see. They're the Glide Hex Ultras. Let's see. So, is it that one? No. Trying to see which one it was. Do the 3D maybe. So, they have the Matrix here, where you can do different things. And the cool thing about it is there's a light color here. Each of these squares are different colors, so it can do a whole bunch of different things. Let's see, cubic here. So they can change all kinds of different colors and do things. They have all types of scenes. They have ones that respond to sound and whatnot. It's a GoV product. It's quite cool. And the cool thing is, when you set that up, they can do different things. Like you can see the lines now. Yeah, they are. And the cool thing about it is you can set up times. They have a GoV controller through the Steam Deck, which I don't know how much that allows you to do. I have to check that out. But also, this is only 10 panels. They're kind of pricey. If you get more on their app, you can actually draw out what kind of shape you want, and it like colors the various squares that tells you where you need to plug it in, and you can make all kinds of designs and whatnot. And the cool thing is it's Velcro, so they have these extra like sorry, like, I don't know, see that well or not, hold on, like little strip things, and it's like a soft Velcro on that, but it's easy to, like, I guess, remove or whatnot. And so consequently, if we decide to change it up down the line or add on to it, you could do it without too much issue. It's pretty well thought out product, to be honest with you. I wanted something a little bit more interesting. I was going to do a light thing down the side, but I felt that wasn't going to do enough, and whatnot. And I do have additional light stuff here that I'm going to put and get in there. I had to make a custom wire to go the whole length of this shelf because it wasn't long enough. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get those done, and then I'm going to have lights down here for Thursday for Final Fantasy. And by the way, just wanted to say that I did restream Rebirth. I got cropped on one of my sessions, and no one really told me anything. So there is another stream of Rebirth where I got to the Golden Saucer on Rebirth, just so you know. Other than that, I am looking forward to the Switch 2. The Pro for the PlayStation, I'm just like, eh. And of course, Xbox, well, we got a new system coming out, but I'll be honest with you, they come out with software, I don't know if anyone's going to care. Most people are doing PC. And then there's also just like, what kind of software, right? We're looking for new software. The cool thing is the Switch 2 is going to have 12 gigs of RAM. Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. People could care real quick if you have a bunch of good software. The problem is Microsoft they got to do something, right? I don't know what they're doing. I heard they're trying to pick up Hi-Fi Rush 2 again. I don't know. But then there's like, no one's excited about Elden Ring. I don't know if anyone's excited about Fable because of some of the craziness stuff. I don't know if Microsoft can get out from in front of itself like some of these corporations, like some of the stuff that Sony's doing. And Sony, I'll be honest with you, they've been pushing hard on that PSN requirement on the PC game releases they have had. So I don't know how that's going to go down, but we'll see. We'll see. So maybe it'll be this week. I don't know. I'm hearing March release is what I'm hearing. I don't know if it was like the 16th or 17th or something like that, which would be on point. The other question ends up being is they haven't re-released the remake of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker or Twilight Princess. I would not be surprised if they are holding it back because they want to make it a title that they could sell for like Switch Online and hey, there's a GameCube version. Do not be surprised if that's the case. If it's March release, I'll be very surprised. You shouldn't be. They've been making this crap for a while. The fact that they have 3D printed stuff for people making accessories, which you can already buy right now, is kind of funny. My thought process is they're going to make sure they have enough, which they will. The only reason why I think it's been delayed is for two reasons. One, they were making sure that the yen wasn't too much. That way it doesn't cost them too much money to produce it because they want to do a low price. But also, I think they were just waiting on software. They're smart about it. They're like, we're not releasing a system until we have software because software sells systems. And if you have a stronger release and they have that cadence like they normally do, a release every month, print that money. I was hearing $400 to $500, but it depends. It depends on what's the dollar to yen ratio at that point. It's also gonna make a difference on. They're doing it off of Samsung. So Samsung, they're going to be able to produce as many of these chips or whatever they need without problem. Like, NVIDIA is not going to be competing with itself when it comes to their mainline graphics cards and stuff like that. USD 400, yeah, is what I was hearing. They could come in at a previous price point, which was the OLED, which was $350. I think it really depends on what they can price it for and whatever. Like, I think they want to sell it as cheap as possible with still making a profit. And I think that's the reason why they haven't announced it yet, to be honest with you. Because I think at this point, I think they have the hardware. I think they pretty much have the software for the most part, or they're waiting for a few things to finalize or just make enough. I think it all comes down to pricing. I really do. How much are they going to get fleeced? I can't tell you how good the dollar is right now, but I know for a fact that if the yen is too strong, it ends up costing them a whole lot of money because they make it over there and then ship it over here, which is bad. So we'll see. But I'm not sure if you care though. Thoughts on Assassin's Creed ACB show? I think that's a very smart thing on Ubisoft, because right now Ubisoft is bleeding money like no one's business because of all the crazy stuff they've been doing. On top of the fact, I'll be honest with you, some of the pricing that they've done on stuff has not gone well, and the focus test groups on it have not gone well, and because of the inherent problems with that game, realistically, I think they're trying to see if they can salvage the game. I don't know if they can. So, if they release an AC game and it sucks and no one wants to play it, you just wasted time and money. If they delay the game a little bit, okay, cost them a little bit more in developmental time, right? but then it sells because it's actually a good game, might help them out. So at this point, I think they're between a rock and a hard place where they need to, because they have a lot of stuff going against them right now, and Ubisoft needs a win. And I know the execs, from what I understand, they're like, fix this game. It cannot suck. So we'll see. You know what? I've been of a sauce for Ubisoft games, and it sucks to see them die. Well, I mean, let's be honest. There's been a lot of game companies that have fallen to the dark side with various things, and we've seen them not do so well. I've also seen Sony kind of shoot themselves in the foot with some stuff, and it's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Sometimes what makes sense in the corporate world, like, it's a short-term game type of thing. Well, not just Concord. Let's be real. What they did with Helldivers 2. Some of the nonsense that happened with Stellar Blade. Concord is a very good example. But there's a lot of little things that add up that are a problem that I don't think Sony has the same luster it once did before. And I think that's also affected game releases like Square, right? Them releasing Final Fantasy 16 was a pretty good game. I didn't have a lot wrong with it. I liked it a lot. I thought the characters were great. The music was great. The map part was kind of but whatever. I mean, pick and choose what you're going to do. Personally think the game was, in that aspect, maybe rushed. But I love the game. And then Final Fantasy Remake's been good, and Rebirth's been good. But that's not enough to make up for all their other crap games. In general, or are you talking about, like, you know, on PlayStation 5? Because, or 4. If we're talking about the recent ones, I liked Remake because it was very faithful to the actual original game. But Final Fantasy Rebirth, maybe not so much. I didn't feel it on the first area, but I think once I got past that, I could see where they added extra stuff that was kind of cool and kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting, but I'm so lost with what Rebirth and Remake even means. Well, Remake, you don't need to worry about that. Remake, for the most part, except for the little bit at the end, doesn't veer too awful much from the original game. Rebirth, you got me. I have no idea. It's completely lost me after playing Crisis Core. The only thing I have a surmise on is it's some type of interdimensional multiverse type thing is the only thing I can think of. Because how Zack can be alive and he have a Buster Sword and Cloud have a Buster Sword, but then there's this thing where they're back in Midgar and they're trying to get better, but whatever happened to Tifa and Barrett, what's going on with that? But yet they're out doing stuff. I have no idea what's going on with that type of stuff. It's kind of weird and interesting. I'm not exactly sure where they're going with it. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know if Aerith is going to die in this game, to be honest. I get this feeling they decide to do something completely different because it's different. So we'll see how that goes, and I don't know how that's going to impact the third game. We'll see. I liked 16 because... Oh, that's good. Well, the funny thing is, with buying all I had to buy, I ended up getting Space Marine 2 for free with the bundle. So I got that and some other type of game on Steam. So definitely I'm hearing that's a good game as well. I need to pick up and play that one. But yeah, 16 was good. I like the characters. I love the music. I'm interested to play the DLC, and we'll see how that goes. By the way, if you haven't noticed while you've been out, or if you didn't catch it, have you noticed that the stream is clear? I ended up updating the bitrate. I was doing 3200 for 1080p. I found out that I could push 8 kilobytes per each stream. So YouTube, Rumble, Twit, all of them, they're all doing that. I'm running 2560 by 1440 on all YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. I tried pushing it on Kick. It didn't like it. I had to back it down to 1080. So you should see a better experience, which is good. We'll play that until Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 comes. Okay. Well, I'll have to check that out. I don't know if I've seen a whole lot about that. I'll have to see what that's about. The good news is, unlike in the past, we have a lot of good games that are coming out, which is good. I've played a little bit of Marvel Rivals. That's been of interest. It's kind of a little wonky because it's third person, and I'm not used to that, which is of interest. I think their battle pass is a little small, but whatever. It's a free game. I still have a whole bunch of other games that I obviously still need to play. And of course, yes, I have to play Black Myth Wukong. I can tell it's clear. Yeah, I think that's why I just noticed your Go V lights now. Well, I mean, they're kind of bright. And you know what's the funniest thing? Do I have it here? Yeah. The funniest thing is, just so you know, can I reconnect? Yeah, okay. That's at 11% brightness. I have it turned down on purpose, just to show you how bright it can be. Okay, so here's what I had before. Here's 100%. They're a little bright. Oh, I'm sorry. That's 100%. There we go. Well, in here it's even worse. I mean, there's like 50%. I had it down to like 11%. Well, it's almost like these. I have these Elgato air lights. I have them at like 6 or 11% because they're so bright. I need to come up with a 3D print or something of a honeycomb grill to go over these things to try to cut down on the amount of light so I can actually crank the light a bit more. That way it lights me more but doesn't wash out my background a little bit. Oh, they are, trust me. And I purposely waited on buying something like this because I was never really happy with like the nano leafs or whatnot. I felt they were kind of plain and basic. And this has enough going on that you can do a lot of variety with it, which makes it interesting. So that's what I got going on there right now, of course. But we'll see. We'll see about the Switch too. You know, it's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be a Thursday. I stream on Thursday with Rebirth. I don't know if it's going to be like an evening stream or if they're going to do it early in the morning. If they do it early in the morning, I'm not going to be able to cover it live. I'll have to do a react video, unfortunately. There's not much I can do about that. But we will see how that is in that regard. But you know, it'll be interesting. I'll be honest. You know what's the other good thing about the March time frame? And if you're smart, people get their tax returns. Yeah, that's right. You want to get that tax money. That's why you release in March. On top of the fact, to be honest, I think they could have released this system last year, but because of the yen dollar and I think software just wasn't ready, I think they just decided to wait. Can't wait. Oh, I mean, dude, see, that's one of the good things is I like streaming these games because I have a set time and I'm gonna play these, and then I'm working through catalogs and stuff. But the other cool thing is, you know, we have you on here. We got Sedex that sometimes shows up on Rumble and some other people that come in and make it interesting, help out and things. But also, it's always fun because I watched Dee Bee Geek. He's one of the reasons why I got into this. He was playing Zelda for the first time. He never really picked up the Nintendo game except for the original Super Nintendo way back in the day, or in regular Mario Brothers. And people would lead him down hallways and stuff and watch him get owned. Like he dropped into a pit and they're like, ha, and then he's like, oh, I hate you, chat. And it's just, it was funny. And so, you know, that's also kind of the reason why I do this is simply because of the interesting things that happen and how it can go down. So it's always good. And I appreciate you being here and whatnot because it helps. It really does. And I mean, I'm getting up there. I'm up to, well, I guess one dropped off. I have 33 followers on Kick. If I can get up to 75, we'll be good to go. Um, on Rumble, I need more views. But I am earning money, but not a lot on that. Twitch, I'm getting some money, a lot more on ads. Um, but it's gonna take a while before I can do anything. YouTube, I need subscribers before I can even get anywhere. So we'll see how that goes. But yep. But I'll keep you posted. Um, right now we're gonna do OG Zelda. I gotta finish that out or at least that's the next thing I need to finish. On Wednesday, and then I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do after that. You don't have gifted or sub button on Kick here. That's because you have to have 75 followers first before you can be monetized. So without that, I can't do subs or gifts on Kick at this point. So I got to get that number up to 75 followers before I can even do that. At this point, I mean, I did the 2-factor, but there was no real point to it. Yeah. You got to get 75 on Kick. Rumble, you're monetized right away. You just got to get a lot of views, and so that takes time. Twitch, you need what was it? Was it 50? I think it was 50 followers, but in so many stream hours. But you also had to have concurrent 3 viewers watching before you could get monetized on Twitch. YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers, and you need 3,000 watch hours before they'll allow you to earn money or do things. I think membership on YouTube, you can do 500 and whatnot, and I could get close to that. But realistically, I know membership doesn't happen a whole lot on YouTube. I have thought about doing some type of Patreon thing, but I haven't looked into it as of yet at this point. Maybe that's something I'll look into down the line. Also, I need to look into setting up a Discord server. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm in your Discord server. And I'm like, okay, well, I haven't made any content to make it worthwhile to be a part of my Discord server. But the only thing I could think of is if people wanted to get together and play like Overwatch 2 or Rivals, Marvel Rivals with me on stream or do something, we could do something like that. But I haven't really done much with that yet. So that's down the line. Building the setup, getting the lights going, getting my bit rate and everything else doing really good. Oh yeah, I've tried Rivals. I actually have I have a stream about it, but I have 2 videos I need to get done maybe this weekend to try to push out this week, where I did a review of Overwatch 2 6v6 and Rivals. There'll be 2 separate videos to try them out and see how it was. I will point out there was various things where obviously Rivals was eating Overwatch's lunch when it came to graphics, how they introduced things, all the different things. They were great. Gameplay, a little bit different, a little similar, ripping off similar motifs, which is cool. The third person thing's kind of weird, but the only thing I don't know, unless it's just fun to play, there's not much to the battle pass system. It's only literally like 4 things deep, which would be equivalent to like Overwatch up to like 40, but Overwatch goes up to 80, so it's literally twice as large. So you get a lot more skins out of your battle pass than you do on the Rivals thing. But some of the skins are pretty cool. A lot of them, sometimes they'll even mention it on there based on some of the movies or various comics or things, which is kind of cool and interesting. And of course, they're adding characters and whatnot. My hope is Marvel's smart. Instead of throwing out heroes and seeing if the heroes stick like the Marvels, they'll go and put characters into Rivals, see what's popular, and they put them into movies. That would be smart, but they gonna listen? They gonna pay attention? We'll see. First of all, Marvel's gonna want to make money. That requires you having good writers. We'll see how it goes. I have good feelings about the Doomsday and the Secret Wars movies as There's the Russo brothers and one of the guys that did one of the other movies. I can't remember. They didn't want to do a movie unless they had a good plot, and they found a good plot. They figured something out. So we'll see how that goes. So it won't feel as forced. It's generally they have a story they want to tell. Because clearly that's been the problem is they didn't have a story they wanted to tell that was coherent, and I think a lot of people had a hard time following stuff. But graphics wise, Rivals looks good. Kind of got the comic book look going on. Um, I like that some of the stuff is destructible walls wise from what I've seen, and how you can do some really crazy stuff using Doctor Strange and portals and stuff, and you can like portal into different things and shoot from above, and people not be ready for it, or throw Wolverine at people and whatnot, and he goes nuts. So it's kind of cool. It's cool like that. So, but we'll see how that goes. Again, it takes time. I don't want to just set up a Discord server and that's it, because I want it to be of value to everyone who decides to do things. But we'll see how that looks. But what I do need to do is I need to get in here, get this last stellar tier is what I need to do. So let me get back into that. I've been wanting to play Zero Dawn Remaster, but my sister's playing my copy currently. I don't know if there's a lot of value in playing the remaster. They did not change the graphics all that much, and they made Alloy look fat. Why? I don't think it's worth the $10 upgrade. I'll be honest with you. The changes are so minor. If you actually look at the different things, the game's pretty good by itself, I'll be honest. Now, the DLC for Zero Dawn, there we go. Now we're talking. Now, the game I haven't played, but I've heard things about it, is Forbidden West. I have not played that. But, of course, our main man, I forget his name off the top of my head, Riddick, he, obviously, they can't, after that game, they can't bring that character back, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I know. Sucks. I loved him in John Wick, and all that jazz. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I mean, we always get people to we get taken away way too early. Sort of like what is it? Oh, I totally forgot his name on top of my head. The guy who played Black Panther, Oswick. You know, he was like taking care of people, putting a smile on his face, and no one had a clue he was deathly ill, which was crazy. So yeah.